Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Gut Punch Satan. I am Chaplain Gina, and I promised last time that we would talk about Christian, Christ-like ways, I should say, to spread the good news, as evangelism is a very important part of our faith. I do realize that, we want to spread the good news verbally. However, as we've been learning throughout the first three episodes, there are so many ways that people have been hurt by the word when it's shared improperly that at this point, we need to get really creative about how we do share it. Not sharing it is not an option. So how do you share it? First of all, every Christian is gifted with specific gifts and talents. Gifts and talents that apply to you, to your life. They're personal to you. You may have the same gift that someone else has, but you're not going to do it the same way because only you can do what you were called to do. Only I can do this ministry. This is my ministry. This is the ministry I was given. There might be 50, 100,000 million YouTubers out there who are Christians sharing the exact same message, but it's not going to be the same way because that's their ministry. The great thing about ministry, especially, actually only when you're using your gifts and talents instead of trying to use outside your gifts and talents, the greatest thing is, first of all, it'll just feel right. You'll feel so happy. If someone had told me years ago that I'd be spending most of my Friday nights in jail, I would have been like, you're crazy. I love it. I couldn't love it more. I can't wait till Friday. I look forward to it. It's one of my favorite parts of the week because it's what I was called to do. And for those of you who have also been called to jail ministry, you know what I'm talking about. We're doing the same thing, but it's going to be done in a different way. But the best part about ministry is every ministry is equal and valid. Every ministry, when carried out according to God's will, is equal and valid. The lead pastor at your church is no more important than the person that cleans the bathrooms. If you don't believe me, let me ask you this. If you went to a church and the message was right on point, you were like, yes, that pastor said everything I needed to hear. That was amazing, the best message I ever heard. But then you went to use the restroom after and it was caked with poo. You would not go back to that church because that's gross. Everybody's ministry is equal and valid. And that may sound like I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm not kidding. I am absolutely not kidding. Everybody has different gifts. My top 3 gifts, according to the spiritual gifts analysis that I had to take at school many times, my gifts are evangelism, shepherding, and then teaching and preaching are pretty much equal. Shocker. But there's all kinds of gifts: giving, serving, administrative gifts. You may never see these people. Again, that could be the person that cleans the bathroom. You may not even know the person who cleans the bathroom at your church. But their gift is amazing. The people that work in the office, that keep the lights on, we need those people. Administrative was my lowest gift, my lowest score. I can't do administrative. I just can't. I'm not good at it. And here's the great news. I wasn't called to do it, so I don't have to do it. So it doesn't matter if I'm good at it because there are people that are good at it. Every gift is equal and necessary. Therefore, every ministry is equal and valid. The Apostle Paul said, we need all the parts of the body. Now everybody sees the arms and the legs, and everybody sees the mouth. And again, no comments from friends and family. Everybody sees that. But what happens if while I'm out there running my mouth, my heart stops? You don't see my heart. You assume it's in there, right? You know it's filled with love for Jesus and people. What if it stops? This isn't going to work anymore. I need that. You don't see it, but it's working. You don't see my spleen either, but it's working. Every part is important. We need it. We need every part. So, why is that important? because there's so many people that think that certain gifts and talents hold more value than others. So they try to work outside of their gifts and talents, i.e. street evangelism. If you are called to evangelize, God is going to give you a venue. Now, there may be someone out there saying, but Chaplain Gina, I know for a fact that God told me to work the streets. You know what? Who am I? I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he did, and you have found the perfect way to do it, and you are within his will. And if that's the case, and if you are actually reaching people and they love to hear you, then God bless. I love it. That's fantastic. I don't want to say that, that can't happen. I've just only seen it done in a vicious, horrible, degrading, malicious way. The point is, if you weren't called to evangelize, don't. You'll know you're called to evangelize because God will give you the words to say. And I'm not talking about some sort of trance-like state where you're possessed by the Holy Spirit. I just mean it just comes to you. There are things that just come to me. They just come to me. They just pop out of my mouth. They show up in my heart and they pop out of my mouth. And I give credit where credit is due. That's all him. And I know I'm doing the right thing when that happens because it's effortless. I have no trouble speaking in front of a crowd because that's what he called me to do. Now, a couple years ago, actually, before COVID, so more than a couple, I guess, he told me to stop going to the jail. He slid that across the table. And I wrote, no thank you, and slid it back across the table. And I went 3 more times, even after I knew in my heart I wasn't supposed to go. And for anyone who was there at that time, you would see that I went from speaking with authority and confidence to I literally said this day one when I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. So what do you guys want to talk about? What? I had nothing. I could feel the Holy Spirit standing there saying, no, I'm not giving it to you. We told you not to be here. And that's not cruel. That's not mean. Honestly, when I look back, I think it's because COVID was going to start breaking out and they didn't want me to catch anything. I don't know. He didn't tell me. All I know is I wasn't supposed to be there. Don't go where you're not supposed to go. Don't be where you're not supposed to be. Figure out what your gifts and talents are. And I promise you, when you work your ministry according to his will, you will be so happy. You'll be so fulfilled. And you will, most importantly, you will be doing what only you can do. Now, why is part of the title then Mouth Shut? We need to remember that as Christians, we are holy. Now, that's another word that I used to have a bad taste in my mouth about because I thought holy meant better than. If you are a Christian and you think holy means better than, I will refer you to video 1, episode 1. You're not better than anybody. Actually, episodes 1 and 2 and 3. All the episodes. You're not better than anybody. We're not better than anybody. Actually, we're servants. We are called to be servants. We're not better than anybody. Holy means set apart. So what does that mean? What does that look like? That means maybe you're the person in the lunchroom who notices when somebody's sitting alone and you go sit with them. Maybe you're the person who gives the get well card to the gal that hasn't been at work for a few days. Maybe you're the person who mows your neighbor's lawn because you know they haven't been feeling well. That's a ministry. That's an amazing ministry. That will set you apart from others. And again, not, oh, they're so great, they're so wonderful, but people will notice that you genuinely care if you can do the ministry you were called to do. You'll love it. Other people will love it. It'll make you a huge difference. And that's all for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.